It's a privilege to welcome you to this assembly in honor of Veterans Day. My name is Pat Bailey. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Mahomet Seymour High School. A special welcome to those watching on Bulldog TV, including our elementary and junior high students. Today we gather as a school community to remember and thank those who have sacrificed for our country. To the veterans here with us today, we are incredibly grateful for your courage, dedication, and service. We are honored by your presence. Thank you to everyone who has made today possible. Let us honor and celebrate you with the respect you truly deserve. With that, I welcome the members of the Student Council.
Welcome to the 2024 Veterans Day program. Please stand for the presentation of the colors by the American Legion Color Guard. Remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by the MSHS Madrigal Singers. Please be seated. We welcome you all to this year's Veterans Day celebration. While some school districts take this day off school in commemoration, we see it as an important time to honor our veterans by inviting them to our school to show our appreciation. Let us take this time to show our gratitude to the servicemen and women who have made sacrifices for us all. Please welcome the veterans with your applause on this Veterans Day.
World War I, known at the time as the Great War, officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, in the Palace of Versailles outside of the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice, or temporary cessation of hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany, went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11th, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of the war to end all wars.
Veterans Day continues to be observed on November 11th, regardless of what day of the week on which it falls. The restoration of the observation of Veterans Day to November 11th not only preserves the historical significance of the date, but helps focus attention on the important purpose of Veterans Day, a celebration to honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good.
Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all of Americans' veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices.
The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it. Today, we celebrate America's veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Next, a group of students from each of our second grade classes at Middletown Prairie will be performing George M. Cohen's You're a Grand Old Flag under the direction of Mr. Jacob Feinborn.
This is a poem called The Best on Earth, a Veterans Day tribute by Joanna Fuchs. If someone has done military service, they earn the title veteran and more. They earn our deep respect and admiration. That they are special, no one can ignore. They sacrifice the comforts we enjoy. The list is long of all the things they gave. Our veterans are extraordinary people. They're loyal, dedicated, true, and brave. When terror and invasion were real threats, they showed us they could handle any storm. We owe our freedoms and our very lives to our veterans who served in uniform. Our veterans should be celebrities. They're exceptional. No other group compares. We're grateful for the many things they've done. They're always in our hearts and in our prayers. We owe our veterans support and friendship. Let no one ever question what they're worth. These men and women served us and our country. Our veterans, the very best on earth.
Our next song, entitled This Flag We Fly, is a beautiful tribute to the pride and honor that we have for our flag and our country. The fifth grade chorus, under the direction of Miss Sue Keeble, will feature 3 soloists, Ender Chamberlain, Hadley Smith, and Evelyn Sweet. Enjoy.
And you can start right there, though. All right, here we go. She's gonna start first, Andrew, okay? Here we go. Eyes and ears.
Across our nation, you can see a great flag wave. It symbolizes freedom for the home of the brave. With our hands upon our hearts, we will honor
Today's guest speaker is Major John Porter, United States Marine Corps. He is a 2007 graduate of Mahomet Seymour High School and joined the Marine Corps in 2012 after graduating from Augustana College in 2011. Major Porter is an infantry officer and has deployed 5 times in his career thus far. He is currently stationed in Little Rock, Arkansas, and is currently assigned as the inspector instructor responsible for India Company, 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marines. Please welcome our guest speaker, Mr. John Porter.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's a honor and a privilege to be back here, especially on a day where we can celebrate some of the best citizens that our country has to offer. I'd like to say thank you to the administration and the student council for the invitation and allowing me to come back and join you as we honor Veterans Day across our country. It is really great to see some of my former teachers and coaches once again, and it's also great to see some of my high school classmates and closest friends on staff here. I think there's Mr. Berner in the back behind me. If anyone is interested, I have a lifetime of stories and incriminating evidence that can be used against Mr. Berner that I would be more than happy to share after we conclude the ceremony today. But that's for another time. In all seriousness, it is a pleasure to be able to be back home and speaking with you all today, especially on an occasion where we can all be grateful for those in our community who volunteered or answered the call to service. It is especially wonderful to see representation of all branches of service off to my right. So join me again in giving one more round of applause for the guests of today's ceremony. Now, they may not all love having to listen to a Marine speak for the next few minutes, but I will do my best to put aside any inter-service rivalry and dispel any preconceived notions some of them may have. I'm confident that if I talk too much about the Marine Corps, my grandpa, Virgil Mahan there, a Navy man from the 1950s, he will come up and quickly let me know. So quickly, as we know, there are 3 military-oriented days of observance throughout the year in our country, and each correspond to a different category or grouping of military members. Armed Forces Day occurs on the 3rd Saturday in May of each year and is dedicated to those who are currently in uniform. Following Armed Forces Day, obviously we all know, we have Memorial Day, which occurs on the final Monday in May and serves as a day in which we honor and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our country. And that brings us to the 3rd holiday, which is Veterans Day today, where we recognize and thank those who served honorably and faithfully. And while ceremonies like today are an excellent way to honor those individuals here in our community, I would encourage you to make Veterans Day a reoccurring event year-round. Seek out the opportunity to have an in-depth conversation with a veteran in your family, someone you know, or even a stranger at the diner. I can assure you that the stories and experiences they will share are not only rewarding to listen to, but it will brighten the day of the veteran that you struck up a conversation with. If you run into a Marine and ask them about their boot camp experience at either Parris Island, South Carolina, or in San Diego, California, I can assure you that they will know the meanest drill instructor by their name and will never forget that name. And they will have distinct memories of their final exercise in boot camp called the Crucible. If you find yourself talking to a soldier who graduated from Army Ranger School, they could tell you about what life is like to be training on few hours of sleep and even less food. Or if you find yourself in conversation with a sailor, they will happily tell you about their first time they were aboard a naval ship and can describe how many ports around the world that they stopped at. And finally, if you're talking to an Air Force pilot, they will undoubtedly be annoyed with all of the Top Gun movies and will defiantly argue that Air Force pilots are superior to naval aviators. There it is. And in some cases, there may be a veteran who won't go into great detail about some of their experiences overseas, and that's okay too. In any case, your curiosity and asking about their service experience will be a welcome interaction with veterans of any era. You might ask yourself, how will I know a veteran when I see one? And I would answer that by saying the first thing you should look for is what hat they might be wearing. As you can see, there's a lot of ball caps over here that you can help identify who you might be talking to. You may see hats that say Operation Iraqi Freedom. You might see a hat that says Operation Enduring Freedom from Afghanistan or Operation Desert Storm. You also might see hats that say Vietnam War Veteran with some kind of specific Army or Marine Corps or Navy unit insignia on the hat. Or if you're fortunate, you might see a hat that says Korean War Veteran or World War II. You might also see stickers on vehicles, t-shirts, tattoos, and many other identifiers that signify you're in close proximity to a veteran of our military. Those are the easiest ways to see an opportunity to start a conversation, but beyond thanking them for their service, I would put the onus on you to know and understand the campaigns and the wars and the times that they served in, which is why I've reached the point in my remarks where I encourage you to do your homework in history class and take a real interest in U.S. military history, of which I'm sure you're exposed to some during your time in school. You may know that 20 years ago right now, I was just a sophomore sitting in the bleachers where you're at. The second battle of Fallujah was occurring, which was known as Operation Phantom Fury in Iraq. You may also have read or be aware of the upcoming 74th anniversary of the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir during the Korean War in November and December 1950. I'm confident that you're aware of and have heard the address that President Roosevelt gave Congress after the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Or if you find yourself talking to a Vietnam War veteran, having the knowledge of the Tet Offensive in January 1968 will only serve as a potential conversation booster during that interaction. Having a working knowledge of U.S. military history will only help to increase the appreciation you can have for the veterans and the hardships and the scenarios they found themselves in and the battles they may have been a part of. No matter what branch of service the veteran you find yourself in conversation with or the era in which they served, they wrote a blank check to this country, knowingly volunteering to potentially pay the ultimate sacrifice. It began with raising their right hands and swearing to support and defend the Constitution of the United States for either a single tour or for a career of over 20 years. All who served joined for various reasons. Some were drafted, some volunteered, and others like me had a singular interaction with a Marine officer recruiter who struck a nerve with me by saying that I probably didn't have what it takes. And here we are 12 and a half years later. Regardless of the story of how veterans joined the service, they all felt compelled to join a cause that was greater than themselves. They joined a team and chose to wear the uniform in service and representation of our country. And events like today do a small part in thanking them for that choice they made to represent our country. Now, some of you may decide that joining one of our branches of service is the right move for you, either directly after graduating here or after you graduate from college. If that is the path you take, I commend you ahead of time. And if any of you have any thoughts of joining the Marine Corps, I'd be happy to talk with you after the assembly is complete. The reality, however, is that a vast majority of you will pursue different goals in life and aspirations as you go forward, and that's totally okay. But I do hope that you go forward and find your own way to serve your community, whether it's in the medical field, education, practicing law, in a trade, or any other number of career choices you may have. By serving your community in your own special way, it can serve as a reminder that right now there are soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines conducting operations around the globe 24/7, 365. And the community that they're serving is our country in totality. Serving your community in your own personal way can be an additional reminder that there are veterans amongst you who deserve recognition not only on days like today, but every day, and that they deserve our thanks for their time in uniform, which paved the way for the life that we all enjoy today. I'd like to thank you again for allowing me to speak here with you today. I assure you I never could have predicted that around 20 years ago when I was sitting in those bleachers that I would be the guy up here behind the podium, but I am thankful to be here. Again, I encourage you to seek out opportunities to interact with the veterans that you know or that you may meet. Gain an understanding of what their time in service was like and come prepared with a working knowledge of that portion of history to only enhance the experience you have. Take time to thank the veterans in your orbit today. Reach out to any family or friends currently serving on Armed Forces Day. And on Memorial Day, take the time to quietly reflect on the reality and meaning of that holiday. Thank you again for the invitation. Go Bulldogs.
We'd like to thank Mr. Porter for speaking to us today. Join me in another round of applause. Now, members of the MSHS Chamber Choir, under the direction of Nicole Kuklich, will perform a medley of American military songs entitled A Tribute to the Armed Services. Veterans, please stand during your service song to be recognized.
hope this expresses our gratitude for the sacrifices that you've made and for the courage you've shown.
Thank you for putting your life on hold to serve our country. Your service to our country is a source of great pride and inspiration.
I would like to thank all the veterans who have served to protect our country.
We do not know them all,
but we owe them all.
Thank you for your courage in fighting for our people and our values. Our lives are better because of you. Thank you.
I want to thank my dad, Brad Benner, for fighting for my freedom.
Your service is appreciated.
Thank you, veterans, for your courage.
And for putting your country first. Your service means the world to us.
Thank you for bravely doing what you're called to do so we can safely do what we're free to do.
Your courage and selflessness is appreciated beyond words.
Our nation is safe because of your service. Your sacrifice is never forgotten.
Veterans, thank you for your service to this country
and keeping myself and other citizens safe.
We are so grateful for the freedom we all share.
Your selfless dedication and sacrifice inspire us all. We do not know them all, but we owe them all.
Veterans, thank you to those of you who serve, have served,
for supporting someone who serves in the military.
Thank you for giving us a country full of hopes and dreams.
We are grateful every day for the service of our men and women in uniform.
Thank you for your valor,
for the things you carry,
for protecting us,
and for defending our rights.
Thank you for my dad, Nicholas Elder, for serving for our country.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for your service.
You are a true hero, and your bravery is deeply appreciated.
We want all veterans to feel the deep respect and recognition you deserve today. Thank you for putting your life on.
Thank you for giving us a country full of hopes and dreams.
We are grateful every day for the service of our men and women in uniform.
Thank you for your valor,
for the things you carry,
for protecting us,
and for defending our rights.
Thank you for my dad, Nicholas Elder, for serving for our country.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for your service.
You are a true hero, and your bravery is deeply appreciated.
We want all veterans to feel the deep respect and recognition you deserve today.
Please draw your attention to the rifle display. In the U.S. military, most units prepare a visible reminder of the deceased soldier with a display of a pair of combat boots, an inverted rifle with the soldier's helmet and dog tags hanging on it. Army lore indicates the helmet and ID tags signify the fallen soldier. The inverted rifle with bayonet signals a time for prayer and a break in the action to pay tribute to the dead. The combat boots represent the final march of the last battle. Would you please observe a moment of silent reflection for all of those who have given their lives in service? Thank you.
There are about 18 million veterans living among us in every state and territory and from every walk of life. Students, staff, and guests, please stand if you are the son, daughter, cousin, or other relative of a veteran or current service member. Please be seated. We would also like to recognize any students in the audience who plan on joining the military after graduation. If you are considering military service, please stand.
As we conclude, we'd like to thank each and every veteran in attendance and those unable to be with us today. We can never fully express our gratitude for your dedication and service to others. We truly hope you have enjoyed our ceremony today. Students and staff, you are now released to second period. Thank you.